Reminder that today's show is brought to us by FanDuel. You guys know I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop.
Never.
But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer and fewer games, and the sports just aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open up the app, dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone every day all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball and the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. On Monday, Ken Dorsey and Jim Schwartz spoke to the media for the first time since earlier this preseason. Jason, I know you were there for the Ken Dorsey portion of it. Jim Schwartz said, what do you guys want me to be very vague and not specific about? So
I was there for that too.
Nothing from that part of the media interaction from Jim Schwartz was all that interesting. But I thought Ken Dorsey had a couple interesting tidbits from his back and forth with the media, mainly about the situation around Deshaun, how he's progressing, and the decision for Kevin Stefanski to hold on to his play calling duty. So one of the questions he was asked was, what's your game day role look like, and how do you kind of feel about not calling plays on game day? And this was his answer, and I'm going to read it to you. Then, Jason, I want to know what your main takeaway from it was. But he essentially said in response to, what's your new game day role, how do you feel about not calling plays on Sundays, with this, quote, I think, it's a new role for me, to be perfectly honest. To be the coordinator with the head coach calling it, I've always worked for a defensive guy, so there will be some feeling out process kind of as we go, but it allows me to definitely be involved as humanly possible with the game planning and putting the plan together for us, and at the same time also really be able to focus on our quarterback room and being prepared for meetings and being prepared for when they step out on the field in practice and on game day. Jason, you were there. What did you kind of take away from the back and forth with Ken Dorsey on how he feels about Deshaun and more specifically the play calling situation?
Well, there were a few questions about the play calling, and I texted Mike. It's like, Ken sounds like a guy who's trying to navigate this without really giving away a whole lot, but he sounded to me like a guy who felt like he was going to be calling the plays. And again, when
we all thought he was.
Everybody,
yeah.
and when he first got here, all of sort of the information around it was that he was probably going to be the play caller. Obviously, Kevin pivoted on that. I'm glad he pivoted. I think Kevin should be the play caller. He's earned it. 2-time coach of the year. He's done a pretty good job calling plays. Are there some you would like to have back? Sure, of course. Every play caller would. I know Alex Van Pelt came here in 2020 believing he was going to be the play caller and then wasn't, and it was Kevin. And I think Kevin's earned it to keep the job as long as he wants it. So I don't want to make this more than what it is, but it was kind of funny to me that I think, Dorsey came here probably thinking there was a pretty good chance he was going to be the play caller, and now it is going to be an adjustment for him. And there was the talk about is he going to be up in the booth or is he going to be down on the field? AVP was down on the field. It sounds like they're going to try that with Ken. Obviously, when you're the play caller, you're up in the booth. But I think that they like having that extra set of eyes on the field.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of communication that I saw between AVP and Kevin during games. AVP, Kevin, and the quarterback. AVP and the quarterback sitting on the bench looking over some of the videos and photos that they get in real time of this is what's going on out there. So I think Ken could eventually be in the booth, but it sounds like they're going to at least start with him on the field.
That's interesting.
And it seems to me that the OC is usually in the booth.
They always are.
Yeah,
in the booth.
but AVP was on the field.
Was he?
Oh yeah.
That's
AVP
interesting.
was on the field.
Dorsey was in the booth in Buffalo, and we know that from that infamous video of him destroying the iPad when something didn't go his way.
Right. Yeah.
So what's the offensive guy that's in the booth?
Well, I don't know who it'll be this year. I don't know.
Who was it last year?
I don't remember.
Because Stump was down.
Callahan
Stump
was
was
on
down.
the field, right?
Well, what the heck? I don't like that. I would think that it would be better to shoot. You need somebody to see the bird's eye view, because they can see.
Chad O'Shea, maybe? Was he in the booth?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I'm drawing a blank.
What do you think
You know,
about
I tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday who in the booth, because halftime they all gotta come sprinting out. I'm gonna watch and see. Okay, that's who. All right, there we go. So I tell you on Tuesday.
Oh,
Tommy Reese.
I know who it was. Last year he was in Arizona. Who's the Arizona's OC?
Petzig.
Thank you, Drew Petzig.
Coach.
He was the quarterback's coach. but last year AVP was the quarterback's coach.
Who is the quarterback's coach right now?
Ken Dorsey.
Yeah,
Dorsey.
yeah, it was AVP.
So he's going to be sitting with Watson and
yeah. But
Which is fine. I mean, that's fine from a standpoint to you get that immediate coaching. You get that guy that once he comes off the field, you grab him, y'all sit on the bench, and y'all can look at it. And Kevin can still keep his eyes on everything else.
That's right.
Like I can still focus on the defense and still be a head coach.
Yeah.
So from that aspect of it, yes, that's perfect. But I just you got to see. Like the bird's eye view, you see literally everything.
Yeah, there'll be somebody.
And you got to have somebody, usually it's the play caller because he's like, oh, okay, this safety bit on that. All right, let me write that down. Next time we come to this safety planted like that. Boom,
But
boom,
when
boom.
the head coach is the play caller, which is the case now.
But he still would be able to say, hey, on that last time we ran this play, that safety bit hard on this, so we're going to come back to that later in this game.
I know with the Bengals, Zach Taylor's the play caller, and his OC, what's his name, Callahan.
Is in the box?
Was in the box last year. Yes.
usually the OC's in the box.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this,
it is interesting.
We'll see. It is,
Right.
it's never.
What do you think about Ken Dorsey's reaction? Do you think he's pissed?
I mean, I think he's uncomfortable. He's been comfortable. It's new to him. He doesn't know how to feel because all his life he's always been in the booth calling the plays. Now you're telling me I'm about to sit here, game plan with you all week, get the quarterbacks ready to go in the game, and then
I don't get a final say.
Yeah. Then all I can do is make a suggestion to you. And
I do think there's this stupid misconception that if the offensive coordinator is not calling plays, he has nothing to do with anything.
No.
I think that's been something that people have spread for the last. Oh, Alex Van Pelt, doesn't matter that he's gone. He's not involved in the offense. Yes, he is.
Again, it's Monday through Saturday.
That's
Right.
what we done said that a million times.
I know, but some people can't get it
People
through their
think
heads,
that Kevin literally comes up with the play sheet by himself and nobody says anything.
Sits in a locked
Yeah,
office.
it's like, don't bother me. I'm working. No, everybody come. They have offensive staff meetings, and they say, what do you got? For these situations, what is our best thing? What is Deshaun comfortable with? They'll come to Deshaun during the week and say, what are you comfortable with? They'll go to Amari Cooper, Brandon Ayuk, whoever the heck the wide receiver is.
Yeah.
What plays that we ran this week that you want in the game plan? And the receiver will say, I really like this against that. All right, boom, we'll put it in the game plan. Then by Friday, Saturday, they'll do their meetings again and say, all right, let's put together our final game plan, what we're going to do on certain situations. They're going to come up with each game plan scenario. These are the 5 or 6 plays that we like in this scenario. Boom, that's the play sheet. Kevin, you got the play calls.
Tyvus, did you play for a defensive head coach?
Let me go through it.
Yeah.
Seattle, Pete, no.
No.
San Fran, no. Where'd I go after that? The Jets. Who was the Jets? He got fired. What's the dude? Todd Bowles.
Okay.
Todd Bowles was.
So, with Todd Bowles, okay, he's the head. Was he calling the defensive plays?
Yeah.
And who was the defensive? Was there a defensive coordinator?
Had to be.
What? Who was the DC?
What year was this, Tyvus?
18?
Well, or even with the maybe you know this
18
from the other. Let me ask you this. So obviously Kyle Shanahan's the play caller in San Francisco.
Yes.
Who was his OC while you were there?
Mike McDaniel.
Okay, Mike McDaniel. As far as you know, was during the game, was Mike McDaniel ever in Shanahan's ear saying, "Hey, I think we should run this play"?
Yeah.
So that's probably
it's open communication. The whole
But
time.
again,
yeah.
AVP and Kevin were standing right next to each other.
Right.
Right next to each other.
Well, either way, whether it's on the headsets or whether it's next to each other.
Yeah, obviously there's communication going on.
I wasn't bringing that up from it's a problem that he's not in the booth. I was bringing that up for he still has some say in the offense.
And
Kevin Stefanski seems to me, you know him better than I do, but he has always seemed to me a guy who checks his ego at the door. And he's willing to work. He's not going to dismiss Ken Dorsey's thought because it wasn't his.
One of the biggest misconceptions of Kevin is he's some control freak egomaniac.
No, he's not. He's not at all.
He's not at all.
The few conversations that I've had with Kevin, he's very open to listening to what you got to say.
And I think that's great because that shows me he believes it. He's confident. If you're a control freak, to me, it's a lack of it's a lack of confidence.
I think they've got the Bill Callahan loss is a big loss.
Yeah, sure,
that's a huge loss.
But I think they have a fantastic coaching staff. Fantastic.
You know who I like the most? Mike Vrabel. Go Bucks.
Well,
Man,
but he's not part of game day.
But I just
no, but he's doing a good job. Look, there you go. Look at that.
I think it's a testament to Kevin that you have all these guys, really good guys
100%.
who want to work for you. From Schwartz on the defensive side, Dorsey whatever on the offensive side. Vrabel coming in. Tommy Reese was a big get. That was a really big get for them.
He was like one of the best OCs in college football.
So they have a really good staff, and I think that's a reflection on the head coach and guys who want to come work for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we first saw the way Hugh Jackson was. We saw it on Hard Knocks.
Oh, my God.
Like, that showed you how
Don't do that. Don't
he
do
had
that.
he really was, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word again.
There's a lot.
A lack of confidence.
There's a lot that describes you.
What's
Pick
the word
one.
I'm looking for?
Insecure?
Insecure, thank you. Couldn't think of that word. You
do
could tell
like
he was
that.
insecure. Kevin Stefanski is not insecure.
Not at all.
Not at all. You're a great coach. You can help me. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yep.
So that's a great attitude to have. I think this organization, who knows what's going to happen this year. The Browns could legitimately finish first. They could legitimately finish last. To think they couldn't possibly finish last is ridiculous. But the organization, health-wise, has never been better.
I totally agree.
In the 99 era.
From the GM to the coaching staff, it's the best.
And as much of a putz at times as Jimmy Haslam is, he's better now than he was.
He's learned a lot of lessons.
Yes.
I do believe that.
And he spends money like it's water, which you want from your owner.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's learned a lot. He still would not be the number one owner I would want for my team.
No, but he's no longer 32.
No, he's not. I think they've learned some very valuable, very hard lessons on how to go about doing this. And I do believe that from the GM down, this is the best this organization has been since '99.
No
and
doubt.
It's not even close.
Not even close,
They
yes.
finally got it right.
Yes.
I was glad to see the extensions. Keep this in place
Yeah.
and get out of their way and let them do their
And it
job.
feels like for the first time, like you might have this combo together for a decade.
That'd be great.
Things could change in a hurry, so you never know, but it feels like it's trending in that direction.
Well, it's going to come heavily now on draft picks.
Well, now they've got to get it right because they have finally got a lot of players that are good. They're going. Yes, once you're up near the top of the salary cap, then you have to start hitting on your picks. You can't blow it. We'll see. And the draft has been the one thing with this regime that's been hit or miss. It's not been great. It's not been terrible.
It seems like the high draft picks haven't hit, but the mid to late have been good,
Yeah.
which is wild.
Yeah. Yeah. They haven't had that. They haven't had any first round picks though in a while.
That's
so
true.